In the first seat, we have Marvin playing Kefka. This deck looks to win with the Thassa's Oracle Demonic Consultation or an Underworld Breach line. He keeps an opening hand with Yawgmoth's Will, Emergence Zone, Arcane Signet, Demonic Consultation, Soul Ring, Flesh Duplicate, and Talisman of Progress. In the second seat, we have Avery on Y'shtola Knight's Blast. This deck aims to win with Thassa's Oracle Demonic Consultation. Avery's opening hand contains 3 lands, a Force of Will, Dark Ritual, Enlightened Tutor, and a Talisman of Progress. In third seat, Jarek is on Daryl, Hunter of Walkers. I'm not sure what this deck aims to do, but I do know his opening hand had a Flare of Duplication, Ragavan, 3 lands, and a Soulscar Mage. Then in fourth, we have Max on Azula. This is a turbo deck. It runs Adnaz, Necropotence, and all that good stuff. It's aiming to win with either an Underworld Breach line or Thassa's Oracle. Max has a tough mulligan and keeps a Lotus Petal, Land, Imperial Seal, and Talisman. Max starts the game off with the Lotus Petal, Talisman of Indulgence, and an Imperial Seal. Max then passes the turn. Marvin casts a Soul Ring and an Arcane Signet before shipping it to Avery. Avery casts a Dark Ritual, Talisman of Progress, Enlightened Tutor, and then Blood Chief Ascension. With the Enlightened Tutor, she gets a Rhystic Study to the top of her library. Jarek plays a fetch land, gets a Taiga, casts Ragavan, and passes. Max draws a command tower from his Imperial Seal and taps 3 to cast Necropotence. Max pays 8 life into Necropotence and then discards/exiles cards from his hand before passing the turn. Because Max lost more than 3 life this turn, Blood Chief Ascension gets a quest counter on it. Marvin taps for 5 and casts his commander, Kefka Court Mage. From Kefka's ETB, Max discards an Orcish Bowmaster, Marvin a Talisman, and Jarek and Avery both an instant. Marvin draws 3 cards. Marvin then passes the turn. Avery taps 3 and casts Rhystic Study. Avery then passes the turn. Jarek goes straight to combat and hits Max with Ragavan. He exiles a Mnemonic Betrayal and decides not to cast it. Jarek then casts a Soulscar Mage and pays for the Rhystic Study. Jarek then passes the turn. In his end step, since Max lost 2 life this turn, Blood Chief Ascension gets its second quest counter. Max then taps 3 and casts his own Rhystic Study, not paying for Avery's Rhystic Study. Max then casts Mox Diamond, and again does not pay for Avery's Rhystic Study. Max pays 10 life into Necropotence before passing the turn. This of course means Blood Chief Ascension got its 3rd quest counter. On Marvin's turn, he heads straight into combat and swings Kefka at Max. From Kefka's attack, Max discards a Born Upon the Wind, Marvin discards a Yawgmoth's Will, Avery discards a Besiege the Mirror, and Jarek discards a Nature's Claim. Blood Chief Ascension triggers and deals 2 damage to Marvin, Max, and Jarek. Max then takes the damage from Marvin's attack. Marvin then taps 2 to cast Wishclaw's Talisman. He pays for Avery's and for Max's Rhystic Study. Marvin then casts Flesh Duplicate, and he doesn't pay for Avery's or for Max's Rhystic Study. Flesh Duplicate enters the battlefield as a copy of Kefka, and a Kefka ETB is put onto the stack. Max discards a Flusterstorm, Marvin an Elvish Spirit Guide, Avery a Force of Will, and Jarek a Flare of Duplication. All of Avery's opponents take 2 damage from Blood Chief Ascension, and Marvin takes an extra 2 when Flesh Duplicate dies to the Legend Rule. Avery on her turn casts Y'shtola and pays the 1 for Rhystic Study. Avery then passes the turn. Jarek plays the Tabernacle at Pendril Vale as land for turn. He then hits Marvin with Ragavan and exiles the fetch land. Jarek then taps 4 and casts his commander, Daryl the Walker Killer. He does not pay for either Rhystic Study trigger. Jarek then passes the turn. Max plays the Scolding Tarn as land for turn. He fetches, paying 1 life to go get a land. This triggers Blood Chief Ascension, and he loses 2 more life. Max then casts Soul Ring. Avery's heuristic study triggers, and Max does not pay the 1. Max then casts Lion's Eye Diamond. This time he uses his new Soul Ring to pay for Avery's heuristic study. Max then casts Fire Lord Azula, and again uses the Soul Ring to pay for the heuristic study trigger. Max then pays 1 life to Necrobones. How greedy. Max then passes the turn. Marvin starts his turn off by casting Harmonic Prodigy. He uses his Soul Ring to pay both of the heuristic studies. Marvin then heads to combat and swings Kefka at Max. This triggers his new Harmonic Prodigy to have a second Kefka trigger. The Harmonic Prodigy trigger resolves. Everyone loses 2 life, except Avery, who gains a little bit of life, and Marvin draws 3 cards. To the first Kefka trigger, Max discards a land, Marvin discards a Wheel of Fortune, Avery discards a land, and Jarek discards a gamble. Bloodchief Ascension triggers, dealing 2 damage to Max, Kefka, and Jarek. Avery then gains some life. And Max is dead. Marvin then casts Cabal Ritual, sacrificing his Harmonic Prodigy. This triggers Bloodchief Ascension twice, and heuristic study. Marvin does not pay the 1 and loses 4 life. Marvin then casts Desperate Ritual. This triggers heuristic study and Bloodchief Ascension. He does not pay the 1 and he loses 2 life. Marvin then casts Demonic Tutor. He pays the 1 for heuristic study and loses the life for Bloodchief Ascension. Marvin then casts Dark Ritual. He does not pay the 1 for heuristic study and he loses 2 life to Bloodchief Ascension. Marvin then casts Underworld Breach. He does not pay for heuristic study. Using his Underworld Breach, Marvin casts Dark Ritual. He does not pay the 1 for heuristic study, and he loses 2 life to Bloodchief Ascension. Marvin activates his Wishclaw Talisman. Marvin casts Thassa's Oracle, and he does not pay for the heuristic study. Thassa's Oracle enters the battlefield, and Marvin casts Demonic Consultation. He loses 2 life to Bloodchief Ascension and pays for the heuristic study. Marvin names it Holly, and Marvin wins the game. Thanks for watching. If you didn't like the video, leave it a thumbs down. But if you did, leave it a thumbs up. Furthermore, if you made it this far, you might as well subscribe. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day. See you guys.